Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika, chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
Humanist TV Africa, it's the TV you are watching today. My name is Katom Mukasa. In the studio is Dennis Bongole to do the production. This is Humanist TV Africa. I want to encourage you to please subscribe to Humanist TV Africa. Our handle, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Website is Humanist TV Africa. And of course, the email is right there. www.humanisttvafrica is the website. You'll be able to see us. Today, we are going to be handling country profiles. Let us handle Namibia. Let us handle one of the largest countries in the world, but found in Africa, is Namibia. Namibia is 3 times bigger than Great Britain. Let us look at the map of Namibia. You can see the map of Namibia or the flag of Namibia. The many colors were taken from the flag of the Southwest African People's Organization, SWAPO, and the most important liberation movement in Namibia. The flag was adopted in 1971 and comprises of diagonal stripes of blue, red, green, and the most important colors of the Ovambo, the largest ethnic group in Namibia. The gun, the golden sun, which is similar to the national emblem of the Republic of China, represents life and energy. Red represents Namibia's most important resource, which is the people. And of course, it refers to heroism, the shedding of blood to get the independence. And of course, white refers to peace and unity. Green is a symbol of vegetation and agricultural resources in Namibia. And of course, blue represents the clear Namibian sky and the Atlantic Ocean, the country's water resource. And red, white, blue are the colors of Namibia's map, and of course, SWAPO. Let us look at other features very, very fast as we go. This is the map of Namibia, and of course, that is the map of Namibia with the colors right there in Namibia. Remember, Namibia is quite big, the 31st largest in the world, approximately 8,214. Quite big. Now, these are the countries which are bordering Namibia: Botswana, South Africa, the neighbors of Namibia. Of course, Atlantic Ocean is bordering Namibia. Namibia is having access to the Western world. South Africa, right there at the bottom of Namibia. Namibia is big, as I told you. It is bigger than the UK 3 times. When you add the UK and Northern Ireland, Namibia still is bigger than them. Namibia has resources. When you talk about resources, Namibia has all those resources to talk about. Fish and seafood, zinc, copper, lead, ore, and the concentrates. And of course, Namibia has all these other mineral resources which are so important in the life of Namibia. Now, let us look at the statistics of Namibia. Population is so small. Interesting, Namibia is a very, very big country, but much of it is a desert. Much of it is a dry land. Look at its population, only 2,500,000 people, 2.5 million people. When the country is so big, population growth is very small in Namibia, 1.4%. Very, very small population growth right there. Egg dependency is 67% of the working class. So egg dependency is also very big. Urban population, many of the people in Namibia live in the capital. Urban population is 53%. And of course, infant mortality rate is 29 per 1,000 live births, which is a bit high. And of course, life expectancy in Namibia is too low at only 59 years. That is a bit lower in Namibia. Now, we look at the age distribution vis-a-vis the population of Namibia as per 2022 data. We see that people within the age of 0 to 14, the age of 0 to 14, 36%. But of course, the majority are old, between 15 to 64. That is the working population right there. And of course, those who are older are only few at 4.4%. Now, production of electricity is quite promising when we can see that Namibia is able to produce a bit of electricity of their own, but their consumption is a bit high, which means that they import much of their electricity. Powerhouse there is imported. You can see that they produce less of electricity, they export just less of it, but they import actually much of their electricity. And of course, renewable energy and others right there on your screen. Now, when you look at other important things in Namibia, oil, let us look at oil. No, oil, we have a 0 production, honestly. Oil there, yet consumption is quite high, which means that Namibia is so much into getting oil outside the country. But natural gas, yes, natural gas is also 0 production, 0 consumption, and of course 0 exports right there. We don't see much of natural gas in Namibia. It's not there. So technology, how are we standing? Technology, the airports, 112 airports there, here and there. You'll find stretches of airports, private airports, of course, public airports, of course. People are traveling. Cellular phones, almost everyone in Namibia has a phone. Almost everyone in Namibia has a phone. Remember, there are about 2.5 million people, but people having phones are even more than the population if you look at the statistics right there. Highways, the roads are well maintained and well made at 48,875 kilometers right there. Internet users are quite many. When you look at it, internet users are quite also many. Coming up, almost 756,000 people use the internet. The railway is also covering a big stretch of land at 2,628 kilometers. Railway coverage. Telephones, people have telephones. Their office telephones there, 154 coverage right there. Now, we look at the geography and the environment of Namibia. The location, remember I told you, Namibia is located in Southern Africa. Southern Africa, that is where Namibia is, bordering South Atlantic Ocean, of course, between Angola and South Africa. Total area is 824,000 square kilometers. I told you Namibia is 3 times bigger than the UK. Land area is right there. And of course, water area is only 1,000 square kilometers. I told you that much of Namibia is actually much of it is actually covered by water. Of course, there's also another part covered by a dry land. The coastline is 1,572 kilometers, and the climate is mostly desert, hot, dry, and of course some rainfall sparse and erratic rains right there. The climate is good told you it's a bit hot, of course, dry and rainfall climate there. The terrain is mostly high plateau, Namibia desert along the coast, and of course they have the Kalahari Desert in the east. Of course, the lowest point of the Atlantic Ocean and the highest point is the Koningsteen on the Brandenburg plate right there. So that is Namibia in terms of statistics. In terms of now, in terms of culture, Namibia has a very rich traditional culture. Of course, the people who love their dances, the Ovambos, and other tribes right in Namibia. You look at Namibia, you look at those people there. The history of Namibia is quite interesting. That before Namibia became independent, the first name of Namibia was known as Southwest Africa, and this name was given to it by a man called Otto von Bismarck in 1884. And of course, the conquest of Namibia by the Germans, German Southwest Africa, that was the name. And of course, South Africans also took part of the people that occupied Namibia in 1920. There, following the League of Nations mandate, South Africans took over Namibia and occupied it for some time. Now, before Namibia became independent in 1990, the territory was known as German Southwest Africa. It was German Southwest Africa right there in Namibia. Namibia was occupied by the apartheid South Africa. Those South African apartheid guys there occupied Namibia for some time. Of course, in 1971, those beautiful people right there fought for independence. And of course, they went to the International Security Council, ICJ, and of course, South Africa was declared illegally occupying Namibia. And from then, Namibia immediately started on its journey towards independence. There are 6% of Caucasians in Namibia, and of course we see that in 1960s, Toivo and others were arrested in defiance against South African government when they wanted to claim their independence. And of course, in 1988, the South African government, under a UN brokered peace initiative, finally agreed to give up control of Namibia on 21st March 1990, and Namibia was granted independence. It's a very beautiful country. Remember, the Kalahari Desert, all those animals you see there, the rhinos, the elephants, of course, the cheetah. These animals are actually in Namibia. The elephants, of course, animals such as zebras, all those animals are there. Namibia is highly dry, a piece of land. It has a desert. Kalahari Desert is one of the most beautiful deserts you'll find in Namibia right there. It is a very, very big country, but much of it has these animals, has a desert, and of course, remember the coastline, which also harbors much of beautiful wildlife right there. The leopards, the elephants, right there in Namibia, the giraffes. Namibia is quite big, but with a very small population. You cannot imagine such a beautiful country with no people occupying it. Then they will tell you, oh, Africa is overpopulated. No, it's a lie. Namibia is too big. People are not there. Namibia is too big. People are not covering Namibia. Namibia is bigger than the UK, 3 times bigger. But people are not even occupying. Actually, I'm talking about Namibia as being bigger than Great Britain. I'll call it England 3 times. Namibia is bigger than England 3 times. But Namibia is much empty. It has only 2.5 million people. You can see the old mixing up with the young ones. Of course, we've seen the San people, the Khoikhoi people you find in South Africa, you'll find them in Namibia as well. The mothers of our life. Of course, I told you, Namibia has diamonds, and some of the largest diamonds can be found in Namibia. Diamonds, uranium, and others contribute so much to the wealth of Namibia. Namibia has, of course, very beautiful women, I should tell you. Very wonderful women right there in Namibia. Now, Sam Nujoma is the first president of Namibia. I should give you a brief about Sam Nujoma in a second. Samuel Shafishuna Daniel Nujoma. Samuel Shafishuna Daniel Nujoma was born on 12th May 1929. He is a Namibian revolutionary and apartheid activist politician who served 3 terms as the first president of Namibia from 1990 to 2005. Namibia attained its hard-won independence on 21st March 1990 with Dr. Samuel Nujoma becoming the founding president of that independent sovereign state called Namibia. Namibia was a German colony from 1884, and in between, South Africa took it over, but Namibia regained their independence after fighting so hard. And Sam Nujoma was the first president of Namibia. Namibia has a GDP per capita, which is in 2023, it was 11,600 in terms of dollars GDP per capita. Namibia is ranked among the 12 richest countries in Africa by GDP per capita. Namibia is ranked among that. Now, in terms of presidents that have ruled Namibia, we have Sam Nujoma, that was born in 1929, and of course took office in March 1990. And as I told you, he left office after 3 terms in 2005. 2005, another man took over called Hifikepunye Pohamba, born in 1935, and of course took office on 21st March 2005. Then the third one is Hage Geingob. The current president of Namibia is Hage Geingob, who was born in 1941, and of course took power in 2015. He is still there. The president is Hage Geingob. Now, briefly, that is how beautiful Namibia is. A very, very beautiful country, very, very lively country. Namibia is big, I told you. Namibia is bigger than England 3 times. Namibia is bigger, one of the biggest countries in the world, but much of it is covered by the Kalahari Desert. Much of it is dry land, but Namibia has the best animals you can think about. Namibia has minerals, uranium, gold, diamonds. Of course, Namibia has fish and all these other metallic metals worth of lots of income. 6% of Namibians are Caucasians. They've been there for a long time. Since 1884, these guys have been in Namibia. Namibia, relatively, is a peaceful country, I should say. Relatively, Namibia is very peaceful. They are very beautiful people. When you look at these people in Namibia, they look very exciting. Their culture is very wonderful. And of course, it's a very peaceful country, but also good for tourism. The desert is so beautiful, the sand with the wind and all that kind of stuff. The buildings are magnificent, the culture is magnificent, of course the food is awesome right there in Namibia. That is Namibia for you, one of the best countries in the world, and of course with the smallest population in the world, not even 3 million people, but about 2.5 million people. That is Namibia for you. Thank you for watching. This is Mans TV Africa. See you in the next one.
Tuungane sote na tushereke pamoja ushindi kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika, chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafaa.